Today we have an X1 BMW. We're going to give you a short drive in this wonderful new SUV. Let's go. Okay, so we're setting off in this beautiful 2018 Mediterranean Blue X1 2.8i X-Drive. And so, even though the X1 is the entry-level BMW SUV at this time, it doesn't feel all that downscale. It has competitors that are much inferior to the BMW in terms of fit and finish, and the quality of these cars is actually very, very nice for what it is, for that entry-level market or for that price point. So this car features actually now the X1. BMW's been doing different things with some of their models, and they've been going to a lot of turbocharging. And this car is no different than some of the other models that they've been featuring turbocharged engines. This one here happens to feature a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine with a turbocharged strap to it, producing about 228 horsepower and about 258 foot-pounds of torque at a broad RPM range of about 1500 RPM up to about 4500 RPM. So it gives the car a very, very usable range for performance. Now with that, all that performance can still be coupled to the simple fact that it is still able to attain 7 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway and about 10 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, which makes this car also very economical as well as fun to drive. Now I can tell you that the power band in this car, I've already exercised it a little bit, and the power band in this car with the turbocharger is very linear, as you would expect from most BMW engines, and the credentials that the straight 6 engines that BMW used to produce in a lot of their cars is actually, very linear by nature, and this car, even with a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, is also very linear. So BMW states a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of about 8 seconds flat, and is 80 to 120 in about, well, in a pretty reasonable number. Let's leave it at that. So let's test the theory whether this car actually does that 8 seconds. Here we go. Starting now. There we are. So it was brisk, to say the least. The car definitely has enough zing to go along with this. It's not exactly awe-inspiring, but it is enough to give you, decent passing power at will. It's not short on enough passing power. This is not your M5, but it is enough to get up and go, get around that slow piece of traffic. And as well, again, you've got to remember the intent of this vehicle is slightly leaning towards economy, and so the power is going to be given a little bit back for the sake of economy. So also coupled to that beautiful little 4-cylinder engine, we have an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is a great complement to this engine, because with an 8-speed transmission and a 4-cylinder engine that has turbocharging strapped to it, we know that turbocharging or turbo lag can be a factor, as well as at really low RPM, if you're caught in the wrong gear, that can sometimes leave a car feeling flat-footed. But with this car, with the 8-speed automatic transmission, it's a great coupling, because the 8-speed ensures you're always in the right gear for that passing power or that passing maneuver that you're trying to perform. Now as well, this car has other features to it. Because it is a BMW, we're talking about leather seats, which is nice. We also talk about, we have the latest version of the iDrive system down here, which is also nice. It's, it's fresher, more up to date, and of course that couples up to your screen up here, which is more the trend now, of course, versus the built-in screen. Everybody's doing this now, from BMW, Audi. They're all creating this type of interface, which is very nice and fresh. Has nicer tones to it as well. It's very bright and fresh, like I said. This car also has a lot of the standard features, like all the power windows and locks and mirrors and all that stuff that you would expect from a BMW. But this car, if you look above, actually has a panoramic sunroof, which is actually very large. You activate that, and it not only opens up the space for you, the driver, or the front passenger, but it also allows a lot of lighting for the back passengers. It gives you a lot of space in the back, a lot of light in the back, and it makes the car feel very airy and fresh in the back seats as well. And you also have a few different settings available for driving dynamics. You hit the button below here and you can toggle that between Sport, Eco, Pro, and Standard driving. And of course I activate that, and looking up at the screen above, you toggle that, you can get Sport driving dynamics. You can toggle that, go to Comfort mode, and Eco Pro, which changes it to the most efficient driving dynamics. Of course, it's not going to be the sportiest driving experience, but it does allow you for the maximum economical performance out of the vehicle. As well, other features that we can talk about in this BMW X1 today are, we have down here, we also have, obviously you can disable your traction control, which most vehicles you can do that for a little more fun-spirited driving on a racetrack. We also have, which I mentioned, the Sport Economy programming that you can make an adjustment to. But also here you have the downhill assist, and that helps you uphill or downhill, and it maintains the vehicle's speed at a minimal speed on hills, as well as it holds you from rolling backwards on a steep incline. If you're trying to take off, it's a great option to have. It ensures the vehicle holds stability before you're actually taking off, so that when you release the brake, that the vehicle doesn't start rolling back on you for steep inclines. It allows you to basically release the brake, transition to the gas, and it supports that, so you don't have a situation where you're rolling back and bumping into the traffic behind you. So what I like about this is this new iDrive system. It is so adjustable. You can go through driving dynamics, you can do these, have a look at the sport displays, and you can see basically what kind of power you're providing here. This is a beautiful option here. You can check out the foot-pounds and the horsepower that this vehicle is producing. You can back out, and we can go into other features like vehicle status. We'll see what the flat tire monitor is doing. We can, you're able to basically utilize the iDrive for almost every function of the vehicle here. So let's put this back to technology in action, sport displays. I love this. So everybody, I hope that sheds a little bit light on this new BMW X1 28i xDrive all-wheel drive car. This really effectively drives a lot like a car. They call it an SUV or a sport utility or an action utility vehicle, but really it does drive a lot like a car. And you don't give up a lot in the way of some of the driving dynamics that you would expect from even a 3 Series. And so, in short, if I can summarize, overall, BMW has had a real winner with this mainstream, relatively affordable xDrive all-wheel drive SUV that can answer a lot of the questions for practicality for a young family or a young person who needs something that's semi-sporty and that won't break the bank. So BMW did a great job here, and I just wanted to share that video with you guys. So I hope you liked it, and everybody, be sure you want to check out the next video, because I'm going to be talking about some of the things that I love about this car, and there will also be a video about some of the things I don't love too much about the X1. So everybody, please do make sure you like, share, subscribe, and do come back for the next ones. We'll talk to you again. It's Mark here checking out with ExoticCar PlayPlace. Bye-bye.